Well, you simply have to watch Wednesday night here at the Alexandra Palace. Mark Webster, Raymond van Barneveld and Phil Taylor all in action. 3 world champions. It should be some night. Will any of those 3 be in our world final on January the 3rd? Whitlock, though, is going to give it a real go. Of that, there is no doubt whatsoever. Simon Whitlock, it's time for you.
Sorry, I was too busy pulling faces there, Mikey.
It's time for you to praise an Aussie. Whitlock's been brilliant.
He has, I must admit, even though he's an Aussie, he's someone I do enjoy watching.
23.
Yeah, poor old Dennis has just not found his range at all. I know he's had the flu like a lot of people have, but and up there in that heat, you're over 100 degrees on that stage, but Whitlock, that's not affected him, and no, good 3 darts.
What is Whitlock's background? Is darts big in Australia, is it?
It's getting bigger. I mean, Whitlock has done a lot to put the sport on the map. Of course, we saw Tony David, an Australian, win the other World Championship over a decade ago, but there is no doubt that Whitlock is the best player to ever come out of Australia. We first saw him 7 years ago in the PDC World Championship back at the Circus Tavern. He actually beat Peter Manley, won 3 games. But his switch to the PDC has made a huge impact, hasn't it, over the last 15-16 months.
Because the darts is becoming popular all over the world. I've lived in Dubai for the past year, recently moved back to England. In Dubai they're mad for some darts, in India they're mad for it, all over the world. And Whitlock's in again here. Another 180. Look at the face of Whitlock, just sheer determination. He's restoring their pride back to Aussie sport tonight.
History in the making at the MCG.
100.
Tomorrow,
Simon, you require 121.
as England look to retain the Ashes, will there be history for Australian darts on January the 3rd at the Ali Pali? Bully needs again.
96.
Well, that would have been a hat-trick of bullseyes for him.
138.
The Dennis Ovens, the 138, we called it a Keith Della. That's what he took out against Bristow in the 83 World Championships. But Dennis is well off of sorts here. I mean, the first dart, you know, an inch low for a dart player. That's a massive wide for a dart
25.
player. Is it going to be 7 consecutive legs? Double 4. What can you say? Unerring accuracy, Fred. His finishing is, well, I reckon it's the best in the world.
I know I keep banging on about it here, but if you just look at Whitlock's eyes, the concentration in them, always interesting is that dartboard, not the crowd, not the telly, not the commentator, just slipping them in that treble 20 and then hitting them doubles when they come around.
Are you going, Freddie? Royal Wedding?
If I might be a best man or a page boy, you know, you never know. I very much doubt it. I don't think they'll be serving skull, will they?
I thought mineral water's more up your street, isn't it?
Sparkling, please.
140.
But we'll sort you out with dartboard.
That could be my wedding present.
Well, Fred, the first time I can remember you coming to darts was up at Blackpool. In 98, we had a little night out after mind you, it was so long ago, I was still playing. Do you remember that?
It was that long ago, I had to get ID'd on the door on the way in. It was at the time, wasn't it? You was world number 1, or should have been world number 1. You put on a great display. Me, you, and the great John Gwynn. We went down to Brannigan's in Blackpool with my mate Paddy, and we tore it up.
Paddy McEwen, yeah.
Enough secrets for one night, boys.
60.
That's before I discovered fitness.
161.
Well, within his reach, 161 Whitlock. Don't forget, still to come, Tuesday night at the World
70.
Championship, James Wade, another major player in the chase for the world crown, taking on Matsur Sulovic.
Again, Dennis's first dart is well low there. He's just out of sorts with his range and his rhythm. Normally Dennis would play a lot better than this. 82 average, that's not really
Simon, you require
What you got to look
91.
for when you're playing someone of this stature?
He's enjoying that ball tonight. Single 9. He's got one dart at double 16 for the second leg. He's straight in there. Whitlock, what can you say? I've used up all my words. What can you say, Rod Harrington?
I thought you was commentating with Sid, so you'd have got loads of a Sydney the other night.
Well, I have to say, the words of wisdom from Andrew Flintoff earlier, having a little bet at 9-1 on Simon Whitlock. The way that we're playing here isn't a bad little bet.
I know it probably didn't happen too much to you, Rod, on the hockey, but when it's not going too well, it must be a lonely place.
It gets very frustrating because what's happened with Dennis, he knows he's not on his game, but he's seeing a person that is not giving any chances away, and as soon as he's getting a chance, he's taking it out, and it just kills you, and it actually gets worse 9 times out of 10. And it happens to me hundreds of times.
At least with the cricket, if you're not batting bad, you just get out and walk off. Your pain is quick.
128.
Well, a few Aussies in the house. The G2. We noticed how quickly the stands have emptied. The better England do, the emptier the stands get.
Well, they started off with 80,000 on Boxing Day. By tea time, there's 2.
Oh, Whitlock looking at a third maximum. Mid down, averaging 90 now. 1-8. His 50% checkout success rate. I'll tell you what, for a second performance, it gets
139. Simon, you require 144.
You think if Whitlock takes this out, it's just a killer for Ovens? You wouldn't back against him? Maybe you would.
Commentator's curse, Fred.
Shut up, Flintoff.
54. Dennis requires
early lesson, young man, early lesson. This to win a leg to stop the rob. Well done, Dennis. He lost 8 consecutive legs, Dennis Ovens. And double 18 gives him his second leg of the match. Never really looked like getting close to Whitlock, though, has he? Not with darts like this, he hasn't.
140.
You mentioned Phil the Power, though. You think if he's going to beat Phil, he's still going to have to up his game, Whitlock?
There's no question, Fred, he's going to up it by at least 5, maybe even getting on for 10 points
100.
to beat Phil in the next round. And well, he's going to meet him in the semis, and that's what he's got to do. He's got to up it by 10 points on this performance, which, when you look at the way Whitlock's playing, you think, how is he going to do that? But he's just got to.
Whitlock, 4 maximums now, the average just shy of 100. He's getting better, isn't he?
But he strikes me as a bloke who won't be fazed by Phil Taylor. A lot of people get up there, you feel they're beaten before they start. Whitlock, he just stirs at the board, blanks everything out.
You're exactly right, Fred, and that's what you've got to do. You play the dartboard when you're playing Taylor, not the player. You play the player who beat you. But if you play the dartboard, play your own game, and you've got to have the scoring power, which is only a handful that actually have that scoring power to keep with Phil.
Well, there's no doubt that Taylor deserved to win the World Championship last year. 7-3 it was in sets, but I think a lot of people would say that the scoreline was possibly a lot closer than that. Close run thing. For an 11-darter and another set. Whitlock is brilliant tonight. Magic for the Wizard. 3 sets to 0. The average just shy of 100. And Whitlock is 1 set away from a place in the last 16.
Someone fetch the lard. Everyone's got an opinion. What's yours worth?